Welcome back. In the previous part, we did some final bonding events with the girls of Class 7 and Alphen, but in this part, what we're going to be doing is the boys of Class 7, and Sara, and Towa, and what if we went alone? So let's start up with Elliot.
Hey, Rean. Didn't think you'd be here already.
Neither did I, to be honest. It just kind of happened. Finished everything up with the wind orchestra, I take it?
Sure did. It was great to be able to play together with them again. I swear, though. Looking around, you'd think we never left. It's just like coming home.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Thor's might not be the home any of our class grew up in, but it's our home nonetheless. Come on, let's walk around for a bit. I want to check on things upstairs, too.
Sounds good to me. Nothing's changed. Even after all this time, it's exactly as we left it. It feels like we've gone back in time to our last day here, but somehow lost Crow in the process.
Yeah. His absence makes all the difference in the world, too. Like any twinge of nostalgia I feel is somehow wrong.
I know what you mean. It's like trying to perform a concert with an instrument missing. It's just not the same. Though in this case, the concert is our class.
Yeah, I got that. But you're right. He might not have been with us on day 1, but Class 7 isn't complete without him. Which is why we can't give up. To go back to your metaphor, we might be missing an instrument, but we can still go out and steal it back, right?
Right. Hey, Rean, I've got a question. Do you still remember the day of our welcoming ceremony?
How could I forget? It was a pretty eventful day, but I still remember that you were the first to try and start a proper conversation with me. I guess you could say you were my first friend at this academy.
Well, you were mine too. To tell you the truth, I was really nervous that day. I wasn't exactly thrilled to be here, for one thing. My dad practically forced me into attending in the first place. So I was feeling pretty doubtful that I'd be able to deal with wasting 2 years of my life at an academy I didn't care about. So in order to try to get a handle on things, I figured the first person I'd try to talk to should be my opposite.
What do you mean by that?
Someone who, unlike me, had strong convictions. Someone who was looking forward instead of backwards. I remember seeing you there in that auditorium and thinking, there he is, he's the one. It sounds stupid, but I figured if I could make friends with someone like you, maybe I'd get stronger too.
Wow. I didn't know you had such high expectations when you first started talking to me. But if that's what you wanted to do, you picked the wrong guy. I wasn't anywhere close to being strong. Worse yet, I was so oblivious, I didn't even realize that there were people around me who really cared.
I don't know about that. The fact that you're kicking yourself now means that you've grown up quite a bit since then. So no matter what you say, I'm sure I chose the right person to talk to. No doubt about it.
Oh, thanks, Elliot.
Spending time with you has made me stronger too. Strong enough that even Dad will accept the path I've chosen. And while it's come as some surprise, it's also helped me realize more than ever the real power of music. I don't think my love for music has ever been stronger, in fact. That's something else I owe almost entirely to you. You helped me find my path, and now, thanks to you, I can see it stretching out in front of me.
Really? That's nice to hear. Well, you're stronger than you think. You always have been. Even if you're kind of small, the music in your heart has always roared. You never let that conviction fade either. I've always admired that about you, and I've always been proud to call you my friend.
Thanks. I mean it, Rean. You really are the best friend I ever could have hoped for. As long as we're together, there's nothing that can stand in our way.
My thoughts exactly.
That goes for Crow, too. Between the two of us, I'm sure we can make music so amazing, we'll even win him over.
You've got that right. Together, we can do this.
Oh, hey, Rean. All done celebrating?
I guess. It still feels early, but I'm bushed after all that walking around.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts out there. I'd finished clearing up the club room earlier than I expected, so I decided to swing by once I was done. It feels strange to be back here again. Strange, and yet I feel right at home.
Yeah, I can't explain it, but being here again is somehow comforting. You up for taking a look around here with me? I'm curious how things are upstairs, too.
Sure. They're all empty, of course. I know it's silly, but a small part of me was hoping we'd find him in his room like normal, here to see what the commotion was about.
I know the feeling. Whether he admits it or not, I like to think our time spent in this dorm meant something to Crow. I want to believe it still means something to him.
And to think, Crow's already experienced that horrible feeling of losing the one place you call home. He knows what it's like more than any of us. To be utterly powerless against the tides of change, to lose everything you hold dear. We may have been able to avert the worst in the end, but I can relate to that feeling of dread, at least a little.
Yeah, I guess you would know. Maybe you guys can talk about it some more once we bring him back. And we'll definitely bring him back.
That we will. I wish I could say Nord is safer now, but but we still can't afford to let our guard down just yet. We only saw a snippet of what it would be like for war to affect it, and there's every possibility it could do more in the future. And then there's Calvert to think about. We're at peace now, but who knows if, or even when, that could change.
Which is why we need to do what we can to make sure that doesn't happen.
Still, as much as I wish I could be back in the Highlands, ending the war here in Erebonia should be my prime focus now. If ending it makes for one less potential threat at home, then I can rest easier at night knowing I've done something right. I don't want this land to be plagued by danger any longer. I've come to love Erebonia as much as I love Nord. You helped me protect my home, Rean, and now it's my turn to help you protect yours.
Huh. You really are one of the most dependable people I know. I feel like so long as we have each other's backs, we can overcome just about anything life throws at us. I wonder if this is how Emperor Drykos felt during the War of the Lions. He was supposed to have allies from Nord too. If they were half as reliable as you are, I'm sure he must have felt the same way I do.
Your presence is just as reassuring for me too, you know. I can't help but want to answer to the unwavering trust you've placed in me, Rean. This land, our classmates, and everyone we've met along the way have become so precious to me. I find myself thinking, if I had all the strength of a tempest, all the dignity of a hawk, then I could blow away all the obstacles which threaten them. And I don't know if I ever would have felt so strongly about changing myself for the sake of everyone here, if not for you. You've become my dearest friend, Rean.
You really mean that? Thank you, Gaius. That really means a lot to me. I guess we're both inspiring each other for the better. In a way, I want all those things for myself for the same reasons as you. So that I can protect all of you and the homeland that I treasure too.
I'm sure we can do anything we put our minds to. May we both go forth and find the strength to envelop this land and its people in a mighty wind.
My apologies for my tardiness.
You can't apologize if you're not late. I just decided to show up early. How are the horses doing?
Splendidly, if not a little too energetic for their own good. Whitcomb was especially thrilled to finally be reunited with his master.
I bet he was. Nice to hear.
There's not a brick out of place. Which means it's just as run down as ever. Still, I've made so many memories here. I wouldn't have it any other way.
That's for sure. It's really nostalgic being back here again. What do you say we head on up? I want to see what things are like upstairs, too.
All right, why not? Crow's foolishness continues to baffle me. He's fighting under a banner that doesn't include him. He's the sort you'd more likely find in a casino than the capital.
That's for sure. Fighting for the Alliance really doesn't suit him one bit. I'm sure he realizes that too, though. He sees Duke Cayenne as more of a sponsor than an ally.
So it's just a case of the two using each other while they share a common purpose. Winning him over won't be easy, but we should push this angle if we intend to do so. Rufus will likely be more difficult, given his key position in the Alliance and shared ideals.
I didn't even think...
My brother's always been my light, both dazzling and warm. He commanded respect, but he also deservedly earned my absolute trust. After the death of my mother, he was the only living relative who did so. And he was a constant. Someone I could rely on and look up to after I was taken into the family mansion in Bereahard.
I know how you feel. Your brother is to you what Elise and my parents are to me. I'm sure he still cares about you too. He's probably just as worried about your inevitable encounter as you are. The two of you might disagree about the country's future, but that doesn't mean you can't care about each other.
I agree. Which is precisely why I've chosen to fight him with everything I have. That, above all else, is the role that I must play in ending this war. I am the man I am today because of my brother. He gave me everything I have, taught me everything I know. He was the one who taught me how to behave as a noble should, taught me to raise horses, trained me as a swordsman. I was always looking up at him, as if he were some sort of celestial being shining in the sky above. So the idea that I could cross swords with him on equal footing and emerge victorious always struck me as absurd. But not anymore. For all their riches, power, and influence, even the greatest noble is human, and they can fall like anyone else. My father always treated me with scorn. I was forever doomed to be the bastard child, but I always tried to act a noble. I suppose I did so out of some sense of duty towards my late mother. But as I spent more time with you, Regnitz, and our other classmates, my very perception of nobility changed. I found myself wanting to discover what it truly means to be proud of one's nobility.
True pride.
I can, and I will, surpass my brother. Not in order to justify the title given to me at birth, but in order to demonstrate the pride I have in myself as myself. And with you, my finest friend at my side, I know that I can accomplish that.
I'm flattered, but I'm not half the man you are. You've always had a meaningful sense of pride, more than anyone else I know. I honestly never expected I'd be able to be friends with someone like you. Not as equals, but I'm glad that I was wrong. It fills me with pride to know how much belief you place in me, and that you're even willing to put it into words.
Perhaps your numerous heart-to-hearts and endless supply of passionate speeches have finally rubbed off on me. No matter how this war ends, our position as nobles will likely never be the same again. Regardless of what happens to this nation, we will always have our pride. That should never change.
There's the Jusis I know. I won't let my pride waver either. Not when I've got a friend like you to keep me in line.
That goes without saying. I can't have you embarrassing me now, can I?
Sorry I'm late.
Not at all. You're right on time. I take it everything's squared away with the chess club?
It was nothing special. We just played a few games with the upper class students like we always used to. Of course, we couldn't decide a winner, but it's not like there won't be time for that in the days to come.
Good luck with that.
You know, it's odd coming back here and seeing things exactly how we left them. It's almost as if this place were frozen in time these past few months.
Yeah, that's true. Well, what do you say we walk around for a bit? It'll give us a chance to see how things are upstairs, too.
Might as well. Everything's the same up here, too. Can't say I'm terribly surprised. As ridiculous as it sounds, I was hoping against hope that we'd just find Crow sitting in his room as if nothing had happened.
Honestly, that does sound like a long con he'd try to pull off. I'm surprised the common areas are so clean, though. I figured they'd be covered in a few coats of dust by now. I guess the upper class students worked hard to keep things nice around here.
Presumably so. I can scarcely believe how different a person I've become in less than a year. When I first arrived here, my blood would start to boil if I so much as heard the term upper class. But now...
You're a new man.
Honestly, when I think back to how I acted on our first day, even Milliam seems dignified in comparison. I came here with a firmly ingrained belief that nobles were the enemy, so that's the way I treated them. That's certainly a time in my life that I'd rather forget. Ugh, how embarrassing.
It's not like you didn't have your reasons, though. After what you went through as a child, I don't think anyone could blame you. Besides, we've all changed for the better since we first showed up at the academy.
I wonder if that's true. You're right about the reason, of course. I've hated nobles ever since the day they took my cousin from me. My time here helped me realize that not all nobles are so despicable, and that I was misplacing the blame for her death. That's something you and our other noble classmates taught me, and it makes sense to me on a logical level. Claiming that I've matured as a person feels somewhat empty, because I can't be sure I really have.
How so?
Having a logical understanding of something is one thing, but completely restructuring your beliefs around it is another. This war has proven that to me. I know as well as anybody that the nobility as a whole isn't the cause. But the nobles who are have taken so many lives. While I know it's wrong, in my heart, I still blame every last one. So the things I say and do might have changed, but inside, I'm the same hateful, immature child I was on the day we met. Still, that used to frustrate me, even make me resent myself. But not anymore.
Why's that?
Because I've accepted myself. My immaturity is still a part of who I am. I can't change that in a day, but I can keep trying. We're all immature in our own ways. But together as a class, we managed to make up for each other's flaws, making it the perfect environment for me to learn and grow. And it doesn't hurt my best friends a part of it. I mean you, Rean. All I can do is keep learning and improving. That's the only thing any of us can do. And we've still got a long way to go. After this war's over and once we've rescued Dad from the Alliance, this nation as we know it will never be the same again. Hey, cut it out!
Stop laughing, damn it. I'm in the middle of a serious impassioned speech here.
Sorry, I can't help it. You know how sometimes something makes so much sense that you can't help but laugh? That's you in this ultra-serious speech.
I beg your pardon?
You've got no shortage of strengths, but the one that really stands out is your ability to face the whole world directly. Jusis might argue you're a little too direct since you do occasionally run yourself straight into trouble. But that stems from the strength of your conviction. You stand by your beliefs, and you're willing to fight for them.
I'm not sure that's a good thing.
Sure it is. It's why you're able to tackle problems that others would rather avoid, even the most difficult ones. Like the class system. Most people would have just seen it as a fact of life, but you see it as a problem that needs uprooting. I have nothing but respect for that. You're serious in the truest sense of the word, so this speech just made me laugh.
What? That wasn't the response I was hoping to elicit. And what's with all this heart-to-heart stuff all of a sudden?
You should know by now that if you try to give me a serious speech, I'll give you one right back. And I'm not even done. I'm being completely honest when I say that as long as the two of us are together, we can build a brighter future for Erebonia. Throughout the war, so many have gotten injured, or worse, lost their lives. And I don't want it to be for nothing at all. I want a future where people can look back and say their losses weren't in vain.
That's certainly ambitious, but I'm sure we will. We'll live our lives to better those of the people around us, starting with taking Crow back from the Alliance. And then we'll build that future of ours, piece by piece.
It's a promise.
Finally. Sorry if I kept you waiting.
Not at all. I think I actually showed up a little early. Finally had enough booze for the night, I take it?
Yeah, had enough of the bad company too, so I managed to skedaddle. I figure the others should be able to handle things over at the academy. Just standing here really does bring the memories flooding back, doesn't it? For as long as we spent here, it feels like we've been away even longer. But I'm glad you made good on your word and took it back from the Alliance.
So am I. And I know I couldn't have done it without you. Say, while we're here, why don't we take a little stroll through the place? I'm feeling the itch to see if everything upstairs is like we left it.
It's a date. A shame Crow isn't back with us like old times, huh? In a way, he hasn't changed a bit since his first day. Even then, he was never honest with his feelings.
Oh, yeah. You helped out with the Arcus trials they all did last year, didn't you?
Yep, we sent him all over the country, just like we did with you guys during your field studies. Sometimes, I can't help but wonder that if I'd noticed something was off with Crow back then, we all could have been spared a lot of heartache. I've known him even longer than you guys have. Heck, I was his teacher. I guess I keep thinking maybe there was something I could have done.
It's not your fault. Crow's planning was meticulous. He'd been setting it up for years. He would have gone through with it either way. But I'm not going to sit back and let that be that. We'll face him down, beat him, and bring him back. That's my promise. He'll be back where he belongs, with us. And you'll be there with us too.
Yeah? I know you'll do everything you can. If anyone can bring Crow back, it's you guys. It's been almost 2 years since I traded in my bracer badge for the whole teacher shtick. But there's never been a day when I regretted making the switch.
Likewise, we couldn't have ended up with a better homeroom teacher. Your methods seemed really bizarre at first, but when I look back, everything you did prepared us for what was to come.
Thanks. It makes me happy to hear that. I'd like to think that you all learned a lot from me, but over the past year, I've learned plenty from you guys too. Things I never learned pounding the battlefield as a Jaeger or during my time with the bracers. But whatever the future holds for me, I know the time I spent here will help guide me in whatever I end up doing next.
Wait, whatever the future holds? You're not thinking of...
I don't even know anymore. No matter which side comes out on top in this war, the Empire's never going to be the same again. When it's all over, should I stay on as an instructor here? Should I go back to being a bracer? Or branch out to something new? All I know is that I want to be able to support you guys in whatever you decide to work towards, as much as I can. Just how I'm going to do that, I don't really know yet. I'm hoping that fighting through the battle ahead of us brings me an answer.
You really are amazing, you know that? No matter how fast we grow, you're always a step ahead of us, pushing forward into the unknown to show us the way. I'm never gonna be able to measure up to you, am I?
What do you mean?
You're experienced, reliable, always ahead of us, just out of reach, but guiding us forward. You're strict sometimes, but you're always compassionate, and you bury your weaknesses deep down to be someone we can rely on. And somewhere along the way, I started to hope that one day I'll be able to finally catch up to you, so that we can think of each other as peers, as something more than just teacher and student.
Oh.
As things stand, I'm still a long way from being there. When this war is behind us, and life slows back down to its normal pace, there'll come a day when I graduate from Thor's and head out into the world as a real man. When that day comes, I want to be there for you, in some way, as your equal.
Oh my. Well, you're just full of surprises tonight, aren't you? With all that's been going on, I never realized you felt that way about me. You can be pretty daring sometimes, you know that? I'm sure you're well aware that I go for the classy, mature gentleman type and not students, though.
Yeah, but we're looking toward the future, right? Students grow up. Boys become men. Sure, I might not look the part now, but one day I'll be a dashing, handsome gent who can turn even your head.
All right, then. I want you to close your eyes. In fact, I'm making it a formal assignment. No peeking.
Why?
Shh, no questions. Good students are supposed to listen to their teachers.
Well, if you say so.
Just think of that as a little appetizer. In a couple of years, if you're still hungry for the main course, come and find me. I'll make it worth the chase. Still, there's no need to rush. I'm willing to wait, if you are.
Thanks.
me here, Rean?
And thank you for coming by. Guess you're all done with work?
Yep, the other student council members said they don't mind splitting what's left between themselves. I wanted to stay longer, but it was hard for me to say no after they insisted I take the rest of the night off.
Can't blame them there. You've always been a workaholic.
Sure is nice being back in here. I mean, I never lived with you guys, but I would drop by all the time to deliver your requests on free days.
And you always had to do it so early in the morning, too. I can't count how many times you went out of your way for me. Well, while we're here, how about I give you a tour? I'm curious how things are upstairs, too.
Why not? So, that was the room Crow lived in for the 2.5 months he was here, huh? He lived with the rest of us in our dorm before that, but he seemed to have way more fun with all of you. I was a little jealous of him, to be honest.
Really?
If Crow was going to come back anywhere in Trista, it'd be here. What with how it connects all of you, and even me, Angie, and George, I doubt there's anywhere in Erebonia he'd rather be.
Yeah, you're right. I doubt he feels like he belongs while he's with the Alliance anyway. Which is why I fully intend to honor my promise to drag him back here.
And I can't wait to see him graduate. It really is amazing just how dependable you've become. When I first met you, I had no idea I would end up relying on you so much. Even after, I never thought you could handle it all.
I suppose we both had weird first impressions of each other, didn't we? I'm not proud of it, but I totally didn't believe you were a second year when we first met. That being said, you were quick to prove me wrong. You're so capable and reliable.
Thanks. But there's something I want you to remember, Rean.
Like?
I really do think you're amazing. And not just because of all you did at the Academy. You were chosen by Valimar, and you've gone through all kinds of scary experiences as a result. You've made a difference to the lives of so many, and you're surrounded by people who see you as their leader. But no matter what happens, no matter what you're up against, I don't want you to forget that you're only human like the rest of us. I don't really believe there are natural-born heroes out there who are superior to everyone else. And I don't think you're an exception. So don't feel like you have to shoulder everyone's problems by yourself. We're all here with you if you need us. There's no shame in asking for help or relying on others if you need to, okay?
Wow, Thank you for saying that. Really. Talking to you gives me a sense of ease in a way nothing else can. You're always willing to accept people for who they are, strengths, flaws, and all.
I don't know about that.
It was only because you were there to support me that I was able to start accepting myself for who I really am. That I was able to try and keep moving forward as I am instead of losing faith in myself. So, thank you for everything.
I'm happy to hear you say that. It's weird. Now more than ever, I feel so glad I was able to become Thor's Student Council President. If I hadn't, I might have never met you. And I I doubt I would have ever started feeling like this.
Like...
Rean, can you kneel down for a minute?
Huh? Like this?
Don't worry. I'm sure everything will work out just fine. We might not be heroes, but that's all the more reason we'll see this through to the end without giving up. And we'll do it without losing a single one of us along the way.
Right. It's hard to believe we're finally back. But here it is, our old dormitory. I guess I'll have a little walk around for old time's sake. This room's just how it was left too. Seeing it so tidy and empty like this, it's almost as if Crow was never even here to begin with. But he was, and I'll never forget that. He lived here in this dormitory, in this room, and as a part of Class 7. You just wait, Crow. We're coming to get you. For the sake of everyone you left a mark on. For the sake of everyone who cares about you. And we won't fail. With Valimar, with all our friends, and with the whole academy behind me, I swear we won't fail. You're coming back with us, whether you like it or not.